Good afternoon, everyone. This is Clara with Card Stamping with Clara. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm glad to have you come along this afternoon and learn how to make these cute little pillow boxes. We won't be making cards today, but hopefully we'll make something that's equally as much fun. If you would please, before we get started, check that subscriber button. That would really help me, and I'd appreciate it. That way you'll know too when I put up another video. And I have a host code here. If you should need to purchase something, then if you'd please use that host code, and if you spend $50 with me, I will give you a $10 gift of your choice. So those are the perks. We're in celebration, so you can get some extra perks through spending $50. You can get a free gift. So you could choose from the celebration catalog, and you'll see a few products today in making of these pillow boxes that you could obtain for free. But anyway, let's get at it. Let's talk about this little pillow box right here. This being fall, and it won't be long till the Halloween will be upon us. And you may or may not want to make some of these little boxes. And I thought maybe for teachers or something like that, you might want to make one that looked kind of like this. I made a little belly band to go on this one. And it opens right up and has a pretty little design on it. And I'm going to show you how to make this one in just a few minutes. Let me get this slipped back in here so you keep the two parts together. And I'll show you the set that I used to make this. It's called the Pretty Pillowbox Die Set. And I want to pull these out so you can see everything that's in it today. This is the large die, of course, that you use to cut the main box out. And then here's a tag and another little tag that has a hole in it. And you have two nice big flowers, two smaller flowers, which we're going to use today. And there's three of these that fit right into that part of the die. This one will punch holes for you. Let's see if I can get that to slide back down. This is a magnetic sheath that is very strong, and that's what you want when you're trying to get your dies, but sometimes it's a little bit hard to pick them up. But anyway, this one and then this one cuts a pretty little design out for you. And then there's one that just makes a little design. It does cut through the paper, and a nice sentiment tag. So I have used this one a lot in other projects, but so you're going to get to see the rest of these today. So I'm going to slide this back in, and I do want to show you two other sets. Now this is the only thing, this one set is the only thing that it took to make this one. Some of these others, I did borrow some things from the Clever Cats stamp set. There's a little spider that you're going to see down here, the witch's hat, and what have you. And then I also used this Seasonal Swirls die, and I used a little pumpkin to cut out a little embellishment. There's a bat that goes with this one, and I started to use it. Well, there's more in this one. Let me show you. I've got them on two sides here. So this is a really nice set too for fall and for Christmas. But there was a bat that was also part of this set, and somehow I caught it with something, and it's somewhere lost in my desk here. But nevertheless, I'm going to tell you about all these little boxes, and then I'm going to show you how to make this one. This is the one that I made that has a little spider on it. That's the one that I stamped and just used a little punch and punched him out. And I made little belly bands for a lot of these, as you can see. I didn't do it for all of them. But if you make a belly band, it's easy to make. It's easy to slide on and off. And then what you put in there is you can put, say, a bag of M&Ms. You could put some Ghirardelli chocolate. I saw one lady say you could put chapstick you know, just whatever small, and, you know, maybe some little pieces of hard candy, anything that's individually wrapped. And this one is one of those that I cut that cute little pumpkin out. And this was an old piece of paper that I found in my stash. And you can see that pretty design. I'm just going to lay it there against my hand. I cut this one out with. And I thought it was so appropriate for the fall, the orange and the blacks and what have you. And I really liked it, so I put a band around that. But these little boxes, it takes less than a half of a sheet of paper. And sometimes when you have some paper left over, you can use it to make these little pillow boxes, especially the little embellishments and stuff. So this one, I cut the same design out, and as you can see, it's polka dotted. And it was from one of those packs. It's the hand-pinned paper pack that's free for $50 with a $50 purchase. So that paper I got free. And this is where your little scraps really come in handy. You can cut these little tiny pieces out. How about an orange one? And this has got a different kind of design that I was showing you. See it right there. It cuts through, and it makes a pretty design. And like I said, I just made them however my heart desired as I moved along. And this one is another piece of that free paper. And I got a little ambitious and thought, okay, let's put a little orange on this one. So I used a pumpkin pie blend for this one and colored the big flowers in. Didn't do a lot of coloring, didn't take long. And just decided I'd cut out a little flower and put on there for the pretty part. And here's an orange one that's got some glitter. This is black glitter paper. It's in our mini catalog. And I used a little, I think I had a champagne colored gem that I had from a past purchase. You can look around in your stash and you can find all kinds of things. So that made a pretty flower by putting a little orangey colored gem in the middle. And here's one that I used the tag on. You can put the tag on top if you like. Stamped a witch's hat on that one. And this one, I used 3 dimensionals to lift this up off of the belly band. But it works so nice, and you don't tear up the box when you put these little belly bands on. This one I used baker's twine on, and this was another piece of paper that I had from way back when. And this is one of the little tags. You can loop it right through some baker's twine and hang it right on there if you want to. And that makes a pretty presentation. This is one that's got the 2 holes cut out. And I'll show you how I saw a lady on YouTube, I believe it was. She took this piece and laid it against the front and took a pencil and marked where those holes were, and then she popped out 2 holes with a punch, you know, just a regular paper punch, and then you've got holes through both pieces of paper, and you can thread your baker's twine all the way through. Here's one I just left like the paper was, and I found a little orange glittery looking ribbon in my stash and just tied a little knot on that one. That slides just like a belly band. And, you know, after Halloween, we're going to have Christmas. These little boxes are so nice for so many things. I mean, you can do Halloween treats. You can do treats for teachers this time of the year with school starting. You can do them at Christmas time for teachers. Whatever, you know, or your friends, maybe somebody at the post office, somebody at the bank, you know, just wherever you might want to say thank you for being, you know, a person that has, you know, helped you out on a regular basis, maybe somewhere where you do business regularly, whatever. But there's all kinds of reasons that you can use one of these. It doesn't cost much to fill it up. And it's pretty, you know. Who wouldn't love to get one of these? This has got the Christmas paper with the red belly band and a white flower and a little red gem in the middle. And I thought that was pretty. So like I said, it was just a matter of going through my stash, finding something. This all came out of the, these Christmas ones, all came out of the gingerbread, I have lost the name of it off the top of my tongue, but anyway, it's the pack of 6x6 paper that's with the gingerbread dies. So it's not hard to pick out in the mini catalog. And I had some baker's twine, and for this one, I thought that made a pretty box all the way around. And there's another piece of that paper. I will say this, I like to leave the belly bands a little bit loose so that, you know, you're not struggling to get them on and off. The hardest part, of course, is getting them over the end, but that's not hard either. So here was one with a small flower. The other one had a large flower. And this one's another one that's just got two of those little holes that you can thread all the baker's twine through. And this one I doubled up the baker's twine a little bit. And, you know, it's just a matter of what you want them to look like. They don't have to look like mine. You just have to know how to make them. So it's going to be a fairly quick project today, but I'm going to tell you as much as I can about them to make it as easy as I can. All right. First of all, I want you to see, this is what the cardstock will look like when you run it through your die machine. And this is just an old piece of a thin cardstock that I had from somewhere, and I use it to layer with and different things, you know, when I need to maybe stamp on something to just check it out. But what I did do is I took a pen and I drew or outlined the score lines that you will have, okay? That's what the score lines are going to look like. When you're looking at score lines on this black one, which is the one we're going to do, it might be hard for you to see. So I wanted you to see where they're at. So I'm going to leave that laying there so you can see it. And once you get your piece cut through your, through your die machine, what you want to do is you want to start to fold on these score lines. And you can fold the bottom up. Folds real easy. Then you need to burnish it and make it crisp with your bone folder, which is what I did with the others. And there's one here at the top. So I'm going to do the same thing to it. And that gets the two, better pull my glasses on up here, make sure I'm doing it right. That gets those two score lines. And then what I found is I like to take my bone folder and just give this a little curl, just a little bit. Because when this comes over and you get this popped open, then it's in a better position to do what to be able to put your belly band on or what have you. Okay, for these corners or these ends, what I did is I just took my fingers and kind of worked around that edge first. And just go slow and try to pinch it up a little bit at the corners so that it folds up nicely. And I will say this, now the cardstock like this, the regular cardstock, which this is the basic black, it is a little bit thicker, as I'm sure you know if you've made any cards, than is the designer series paper, at least most of the designer series paper. The ones that I used today, like this one for instance, this paper is much thinner than this. And so when I was running that through my die machine, what I did was I took a piece of this and laid it under the die, and it just tightened it up a little bit on my machine. Now, it may be my machine, I don't know, but I got better score lines, deeper score lines, by putting an extra piece of paper under the thin. This one didn't need anything, but the thin one did. All right, now then, what we're going to do is we're going to take some of this multi-purpose glue. We're going to take a little bit of it, and if you want your little box to look really nice, then what you want to do is tuck the back part in and let this front part lap over and go towards the back. And this is going to feel a little clumsy at first. And as you can see, I've already made several, so I'm going to put just a little bit of glue along the edges. You want it to cover the surface, but you don't want it to be a whole lot of glue. And because it'll kind of ooze out if you do. You see, so you just try to put a little bit. That's probably plenty. And now I'm going to try to hold that down. Like I said, sometimes it feels a little awkward. But then when you get it into place, and that's going to look nice, I'm going to just press it together. The other reason you don't want a lot of glue is it will slide. You want it to adhere, and you don't want it to slide too much. Okay. Now, we're going to do the same thing. It's real easy to lap it the wrong way. I've done that too. You do the opposite end the same way. And there again, that is plenty. I'm feeling generous today, apparently. Okay. There's a tiny little bit there. You can really see the glue if it comes out in this black. Now, there now. I got it, I think. I will say this. Not as an excuse per se, but my left hand, I've got some a carpal tendon, or I've got tendonitis, whatever you want to call it, in the wrist, and I'm going to have some surgery on it, I'm satisfied. And I've got sort of a partially numb hand on the left hand, so it doesn't always hold on to things quite as good as I'd like for it to, which is not great when you're trying to do handwork like this. But I've been getting along. So I apologize if I seem a little bit clumsy. I'm clumsy by nature, and then you throw a little gas on the fire with this. But you see now, when this will get that much made, then this part that I curled just really falls right into place. So that makes that really nice. Now, I did go ahead and I did make this belly band. I'm going to tell you how I did it. And the reason I went ahead and made it, and this one is not exactly like this one, but it'll be all right for this purpose. Take a piece of the glitter, the bedazzling glitter paper. That's another free item in the catalog, the celebration catalog. And as you can see, you can make it narrow or you can make it wider. Doesn't really matter. Just whatever, you know. I'm saying about a ½ inch. I may have gotten out from under the camera. I apologize. About a ½ inch. And, or a little less, a little more, whatever. This strip, believe it or not, is 5½ inches. You think it ought to be bigger than that if it's 5½ inches. But it's 5½ inches. And I'll pull out a strip right here. This is just a piece. I want to show you how I put this together. Just roll it up. I'll clip this off because I know that's distracting. I don't think this might be more. I think this is probably more, but do you remember as a child how you used to make the loops to go on the Christmas tree and you loop another one in? Well, that's all in the world this belly band is. And what I did was I put a little bit of glue on this side. Then I lapped it down over top, just like that. And then just squeezed it together and held it long enough for it to get, adhered. Then, when you glue your two flowers together, in this case, if you do one exactly like this, you will be gluing the bedazzling one, the smaller one, on top of the larger one, which will be the black glitter. Whatever you plan to use. I mean, as you saw, I use just regular cardstock too. This just makes it look kind of fancy, I thought, compared to some of the others. So, what you want to do, once you get this into position in that manner and glued, then put your flower over this seam right here. And then you've got a continuous band and no lapping, and the flower hides that seam, and it gives it a much better appearance. So I hope that makes sense to you. But it's really easy to make. I will say this, once you get it glued, believe it or not, it does better about getting on your box. To get it on your box is just to kind of flatten it out a little bit like that. And then we're going to slide this one on. The reason I made this one last night is because if you use this bedazzling glitter paper or the black glitter paper, you're going to have to hold it together a little bit longer when you glue it, because and it'll take the glue a little bit longer to seal the band together than if you just use regular cardstock. It's up to you. You can use anything you want to. But I went ahead and put this one together so it'd be good and dry and that everything would stay in place. So if you want a Pillowbox that is a little sturdier, use the cardstock. This is certainly sturdy enough to use and still put something down in. You can see where the alcohol markers came through, but it doesn't really look, particularly bad on the inside, where you can slide a little pack of fun-sized M&Ms or something like that. It will still hold something like that just fine. So it's a matter of what you want, whether you'd rather your box be a little bit sturdier or a little less sturdy, and use some of the DSP. If you use the DSP, the ends are a little bit easier to fold in because the paper is thinner. But you can still, use the regular cardstock and it'll do just fine. So those are the things that might be beneficial to you. Using the thin cardstock, put your little extra piece of something underneath, and you'll get better score lines that way. You'll just have to try your machine and go from there. But that's this project is what we have for today. It's simple. It's fun. It makes a pretty little box to put goodies in for your special friends. So I hope that has been helpful. I look forward to spending some more time with you in a few days. I'll get some cards together for next time, but I thought, it's not really close to Halloween, but, it takes maybe 10 days to get your product, and then, you know, we're all busy and time gets away. So I thought I'd go ahead and do this. And then, like I said, Christmas is right behind. And you can use these for Valentine's Day. You can use them for Easter. Just change your paper, change your colors, and you're good to go, you know, with 3 or 4 holidays. And it's not a die that you just use one time and put up. So, you know, you can use it anytime. You can use it for a birthday, for that matter. So, anyway, I love these little boxes. You can tell that's my cup of tea, is things like this. So, you folks have a good week. This is just Monday, I guess, and I don't know. I guess today's been a little bit of a long day, but like I said, I hope this helps. If you haven't pushed the subscribe button, please do. And if there's anything I can help you with, you can contact me on my webpage, Card Stamping with Clara. Send me a message, and I'll be checking my comments, and I'll get back to you and try to answer them. So take care, and I'll see you again in a few days. Thank you.